Well, that's a rather interesting tip. The cannon can also be used for its kinetic properties. Kinetic meaning physical motion, of course. So I guess that means you could also use it somewhat as an evasive move, especially this beefed up cannon I got here, considering how far it sends me back. Interesting that the firing animation is interrupted if I end up falling off a ledge. That'll be good to keep in mind. Alright, let's see if there's any upgrades I can make before moving on. I should be able to purchase one or two things. What was I working my way towards at this point? Was it the health boost? No, I don't think so. Was it something over here? It's been a bit since I played, so I don't quite remember. I might have been going for the shield increase. Yeah, okay, no, I have one upgrade here, so this is clearly where I was going. Yeah, that's right. Gotta get that cannon damage up. That thing seems like it will come in super handy when I get those ridiculous horde encounters. Okay. So, now the question is, where exactly do I end up going? A question I will be able to better discuss once the actual full map loads. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it having two loading screens right at the start. A quick one for the hub, and then a longer one to actually regenerate the entire world. I don't know why they bothered to split that up. Do they think people are just gonna want to hop in and give their character a few quick upgrades, or what? Just a bit of a weird design decision that probably not any intended purpose behind it. It was probably just how they chose to do things. And it just so happens that it doesn't end up working out for me. At least the loading times aren't so bad. I wouldn't like playing this game on console, since console load times always seem to be like an order of magnitude larger than PC load times. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways I can head. I never finished fully exploring off in this direction. My progress was bulked in this room with the marking. I needed something to pass the barrier there. But I could take this lower path to the right. There's also a few rooms over here I haven't explored. And there are a few other pathways down here. And I believe there is a similar situation over this way, yes. Another one of those barriers it looks like, so I wouldn't want to head over there. I do in general want to head in this direction though, because the boss I just fought, the rather interesting looking sea anemone-like things, were called Eschaton devotees, and it was over in the general left direction of the world that I was heading toward a passageway to the Eschaton city. And if that's what Eschaton devotees look like, I'm interested in seeing exactly what the holy Eschaton city looks like itself. And I really don't have any other guiding factors at the moment. No power-ups I can pick up, no bosses I can get to. There's this big one here, but it's still clearly locked off by whatever that locking mechanism is. So yeah, for now I'll be heading to the holy Eschaton city. I'll see you when I actually get there. So, I ended up encountering this purple orb again, the one that caused me so much trouble. Let's give the upgraded cannon a test run, shall we? This seems like as good a place as any. Especially since it shouldn't be so bad, even if the cannon turns out not to be useful, since, yeah, look at how quickly I'm taking these down compared to when I attempted this before. I'm doing so much more damage now that I have those damage upgrades, and they're not actually doing all that much damage to me. Amazing how just a relatively few levels can make how much of a difference. Alright, now I would like to get them all set up in a row for this cannon shot, so now's good. Oh, unless I get stunned, so I can get stunned out of the cannon animation. And that actually seems to be screwing me here. Okay. See, that's why it's good to give it a test run in a relatively safe, but still hectic location. I can actually figure out particulars like that. Oh yeah, look at how much damage I'm doing to the Lithworm now, and how little damage it's doing to me. So if that ends up being a regular enemy type, it shouldn't be so bad. Yeah, that's pretty strong. I imagine it probably won't quite one-shot upgraded enemies, but certainly do a number on them. I wonder how much currency I'll get from this one. I think I got around 400-ish before. Hopefully it's a similar amount each time. 2 worms left to deal with, I believe. Oh, I do still have to watch out for that contact damage. I can't just completely ignore it. I do want to have a decent stock of health when I actually get to somewhere new. Let's try out the cannon again. Yeah, look at that damage. That is good damage. Ah, one more hit. You tricksy bastard, you. And goodbye. So yeah, it's like 400 from killing the Lithworm itself, and then from the actual corrupted treasure... Oh, it's another 400, and I get a perk as well, so I guess these purple orbs, yeah, they are a way that you can acquire perks. And it seems like it's not one per instance of purple orb. Instead, you just have a chance of getting a random perk every time you beat one of them. Fascinating. So I definitely do want to try and take down those challenges whenever I come across them, because more perks is more good. They seem to be the main way that you're going to increase your character's damage. Oh yeah, by the way, something someone pointed out in the comments, I think this might have been Speedball. The hunter enemies, the ones with the lasers, and I actually noticed this myself when going through the old footage and editing it. Oh wait, can I not actually get any further up here? I guess I need some other upgrade. Maybe I'll be getting actual flight, that'd be interesting. But yeah, if you end up actually getting far enough away from the hunters, they will actually respawn someone ahead of you, like this example. This was one of the hunters that was striking me before, you can tell because there were 2 lasers and now there's only 1. That means one of the hunters that was down there, with his buddy, ended up respawning up here. Which is actually pretty good because it means that if they're in a rather inopportune place, you can just continue making progress avoiding their lasers. And eventually they'll end up popping up ahead for you to take down. This is a dead end. Okay. Time to head back. I thought this was the way to the passageway to the Eschaton City, but no, I think it's a bit further down. Speaking of down, whoa, I do love those setups they have. They introduced that mechanic early on of being able to pass through any amount of these thin platforms as long as you keep holding down and jump. And then they actually give you so many places to use that where as long as you keep holding down, you just end up doing a ridiculous vertical drop. And it is just... I don't know why, but it's really satisfying to see that. I guess it's because one of the things I do like about this game, its base combat and movement mechanics, is that your character feels very fluid and very powerful. In spite of all the bullshit you have to deal with, like, the way that you move through the environment is so swift and graceful. It's almost like a Nier Automata in that regard. That just the basic movement ends up being really satisfying to do. Oh, I picked up an achievement. I'll check out what that is as soon as I get a bit of a break here. Cannon time! Yep, that cannon is the problem solver. I should probably try and save most of its uses for new areas though. Not these old ones, considering the ammunition is a bit limited. Whoa, I get a lot of hunters after my hide. I'm hoping I'll be able to pick up some ammo refills soon enough. I didn't seem to have trouble in the previous area, but I suppose it depends on how common crates are in whatever area I end up exploring. Alright, where's that last hunter? You're down here. Goodbye, jerkbags. I do hope in whatever new areas I end up exploring, I do encounter more new enemies. The enemy variety thus far has not been the best. It's not been the worst, but I'd actually put it roughly on par with, Neo, a game that I'm thinking of specifically because I just streamed the second DLC pack. That game has a huge issue with enemy variety. The enemies it has are fun to fight, but you end up fighting the same small handful over and over, and it ends up just grating on you. Hey, cannon time! Oh yeah, I guess that's another reason why I should be, conserving my ammo. I do need it to get through these doorways. D1 Barracks, Valkyrie Base, Endless Hordes. Is that descriptor, Endless Hordes, was that on previous area descriptions? Or is it new? If it's new, I'm worrying that it could be telling me something, namely that there might be infinite enemy hordes spawning here. Which, is not something I'd be looking forward to. At least in terms of difficulty, this place doesn't see... I'm just gonna use this. This is a good place to use it. At least in terms of difficulty... Okay, wow. I forgot I can't actually iframe through those lasers, even though it really feels like I should be able to. But yeah, in terms of difficulty, it doesn't seem too much worse than the previous area I was in, which isn't necessarily a good thing because, wow, even with the cannon, I'm still having trouble. Yeah, I really should have saved most of my ammo for the new area. That was my bad, wasting it. I was, a little bit high on my new power and thought, oh, I can probably handle it even without the cannon shots, and no, I really needed to save those. Well, let's see what upgrades I'm going to be picking up now. I think I was working my way, yeah, over to this big damage boost. Vater's Will. So, which path do I take? The one that gives me more health and shield, or the one that gives me more luck? And cannon damage. I think that should be obvious. Actually, wait a minute, this one's a little bit quicker, isn't it? So I might as well go this way. And yeah, I certainly could use more health, so never mind about that. Alright, I'll see you when I make it back there. Yeah, still not a fan of how I have to waste a bit of my ammo to open up a door. That's not the best design. I'm just gonna say that outright. I really hope I don't end up getting stuck at some point because of that. That would be incredibly unfortunate. I'm actually worried that might be the case because they do give you an out with the menu option to always return to the sanctuary. And I'm worried that might be there specifically because that's how they design things, which wouldn't exactly be the most fun, but we'll see. This time I'm actually going to try and take down these hordes quickly enough that I don't get overwhelmed. I already seem to be somewhat failing at that, especially with all these lasers. As I've said before, I'm really not a fan of the fact that the enemies are not harmed by the traps. Like, that is just not a great design decision either. I can understand the enemies not having friendly fire, just the idea that, oh, they're trying not to hit each other, fine, I can accept that, but traps don't discriminate. Like, maybe the energy lasers not hurting the Aranias since they're all sparky and stuff, fine. But enemies like the Panzer, they're robots, they should be getting damaged. It is what it is, though. I have to live with the design decisions they've made, or die with them, as the case often is. Alright. I have to deal with these lasers, but I have the Arania in a decent choke point. Again, these lasers are making this way more difficult than it really needs to be. Because they are greatly reducing the area that I can safely travel. Fuck it, there goes my last laser blast. I needed to survive. Even having used that, I'm not sure I'll be able to survive this. Christ, it's always specific spots that I end up having trouble in. I've noted that before, but it really does make me wonder exactly how this horde system works. Come on. Looks like these Arania are the last of it, then I can take down the hunters, and I'll hopefully have at least a little bit of a break. Come on, game. Give me a bone. Nope, there are more Arania enemies. Where are they all coming from? No, I understand that's the whole point of the horde spawning system, but seriously. You'd think there'd be some sort of limit. Instead, I'm just endlessly killing these enemies over and over with no apparent limit. And yep, more Arania, along with the Panzers, because of course. Ah shit, I thought he might have gone past me. Oh, now we have another hunter. Yeah, I'm gonna die here. Seriously, what? Yeah, it figures it's the lasers that killed me. Why is there no end to the enemies? Like, you know, I just had a thought. those hunter enemies and later the panzer ones, they only started spawning when I turned on the power, which my patron elder god mentioned would activate the security systems. So wow, that was a huge brain fart. So clearly the hunters and the panzers seem to be part of the security system. What then if they are the ones responsible for these apparently infinitely respawning enemies? The enemies themselves aren't truly infinitely respawning. Instead, perhaps it's the case of more enemies will continue to spawn as long as there are some hunters and or panzers on the screen. That is a decent working theory, and it could explain the troubles I've been having. So I think what I'm gonna do from now on, or at least this attempt here, and just see if it's successful, is I'm gonna try and take out the robot enemies first. Go to them as soon as they spawn, and just try and take them out as quickly and efficiently as possible. Oh, that is a rather rude spawn. And just see if that actually ends up lightening up the enemy hordes that I have to fight. I mean, just from this initial test here, that actually seems like it worked. That was a lot of enemies, but not nearly the unending stream I faced in the previous attempt. That could be what I'm doing wrong. When I asked if I was doing anything wrong, I was obviously being rhetorical at the time, but this seems to be working out. At least... Okay, you know what? Maybe not, because as soon as I entered here, a whole horde of enemies started spawning again. Some of which appearing in the area I just was, and what is even happening? I cannot see. I'm trying to get through here, but it's not working because I can't see because there are literally too many enemies. Oh boy. Alright, so maybe that theory isn't correct. I was really hoping it was, because that would actually give me a decent chance at tackling and actually making some progress, but I don't think that's actually going to be the case. I mean, even if I wanted to, and I do, I can't really focus on going after the hunters because of these hordes of Arania who just won't give the fuck up. At least I can get the hunters to stop for a little bit if I attack them when they put their shields up. That does give me a little bit of breathing room. And of course, as soon as I kill 2 hunters, another one spawns in because why wouldn't it? Alright, I'm gonna need to recover my shield for a little bit. I do try and make use of choke points. That seems to be one major way you can get an advantage in the combat. Just funnel enemies from one side. Especially ones like these Arania, which as long as you're attacking them, they can't actually harm you. Oh god. Okay, let's go take out that hunter up here. I'm just gonna be endlessly fighting enemies, aren't I? I'm not even getting that much for fighting them, because they don't exactly give a whole bunch of experience. Like, for fighting all of those enemies, I only ended up picking up a few hundred. I get so much more from doing those purple orb challenges, and it looks like I can actually just farm that one purple orb over and over if I so felt the need. I honestly may end up having to do that. I feel like I just don't have the stats to actually take down all these jerks. And of course, more hunters spawn in, 2 of which appear to be where I just was. That is a really annoying part of this enemy spawning system that I do not like. Enemies should appear ahead of you, not behind you. That just doesn't feel good. I have no idea what's going on, but I think it's going to be my death unless I happen to pick up an elixir. Come on, game. Okay, so just cutting into the middle of the fray here, I guess, since I might end up dying here anyway. I'm just gonna try and kill what enemies as I can as I end up making progress. Maybe that'll work out a little bit better. Oh, that was the worst time cannon shot in the world. Alright, made it up here. Like, maybe if I get to another big room, this will die down a little bit. I strongly doubt that's how it'll work, but I really don't know what else to do. Just staying in one room and trying to take them all down definitely is not working. So So I figured trying something different would at least make for a change of pace, even if it doesn't end up working out. Now there's a decent place to use the cannon. Still not the best. Gotta work on my timing for that bullshit. Oh, but ammo! That was perfectly timed game. Thank you. Alright, it's another hunter taken down. At least the Arania, even these upgraded ones, don't do too much damage. Yeah, this thing like just instantly gibbs the hunters, which is good to know. Yeah, they're mainly tanky because they put up their shields, but if you kill them before they have a chance to put up their shields, like with the cannon, they can't do much at all. Oh, I ran out of... No, wait. I do have a cannon. It's just hard finding the time at times. I mean, I am making progress. Maybe this is what the game wants me to do. Just rush through and take out what enemies I can. That kind of goes against the whole Metroidvania thing, which is all about exploration, but that just seems to be how they designed this game, so I guess that's how I'll have to play it. And with the cannon, I can actually see this being doable as long as I get a decent amount of ammo every now and again. That's the big thing. As long as they give me fairly frequent ammo refills, I think I might be able to handle this. But given the randomly generated levels, that's probably going to come down to pure luck more than anything, so yeah. Nope, nope, go down, go down. Oh, shit. If I end up dying here because of these shitty platforming controls, I'm gonna be hecka upset. Namely that trying to actually drop through one of those thin floors is really difficult if you're being harangued by enemies. So it seems that all I got there was a perk, which I don't know how valuable that is since I seem to be getting free ones from the purple orbs. I'm guessing they probably have a separate pool from these fixed ones, or something. But at least that hellish zone is finished, so where to next? I did say I wanted to travel to the Holy Eschaton City, but I'm pretty sure it was off in this general direction, which has another one of those markers there. It doesn't tell me what it means on the map legend, but given that this one over here seemed to be a barrier, I'm gonna assume that's the case for that one over here as well. So, no point in heading in that direction just yet. So I have a few other places I can explore over here. I'm gonna guess that they're also gonna lead to side areas like this one and have perks. So I'm not exactly thrilled about doing that. Instead, let's check out this locked door all the way over here. This one that I can open up with a cannon. At least once I get some ammo. I might actually just want to return to the sanctuary. Yeah, that'll refill all of my health, elixirs, and ammunition, I think. And it'll actually take me closer to that locked gate, so it's the more efficient way of doing things for sure. I have no idea what perk I picked up by there, in that room. So much chaos going on, I couldn't exactly read the text. Fortunately, they are marked on the perk screen before you move over to them, so let's see what that is. Tough skin, armor by 10. Oh, but it reduces the cannon's damage. I'm not sure if that's a worthy trade-off or not. Again, definitely not for my damage boost, but it'll be worth considering once I pick up that next perk slot. For now, though, I'll be making my way to that extra health elixir. Alright, so how close is that lock? Pretty close. Oh yeah, so I have a new theory about how the hell I'm gonna get over to that big boss-looking room. The one that seems to be like a huge area boss, rather than the lesser bosses I've been fighting thus far. So I'm pretty sure I'm not going to come from this way, because these doors here are very much the ones that you have to come from the other side for. Like there's a lock over there I'll be able to bust open. Can I see it if I pan over? No. So there's no apparent entrance, but in that one lore room over here, the one with the crystal marking, there was that door I remarked about. And I specifically noted as, oh, it's probably just environmental decoration since there wasn't like a door marker there, but I'm thinking that probably at some point I'll get the ability to open up those big golden double doors. And that's when I'll get to fight this big boss. So I guess I should be trying to pick up whatever upgrade lets me do that. Not that I have any inkling where such a thing would be, so I'm basically just exploring and hoping I come across it. Got a newish area here. Given the design, I'm assuming I'm gonna encounter the lower tier of enemies here, and not the upgraded ones. Yep. So this will be a fairly tame area to pass through, at least for now. I could certainly use that. After all the tension fighting off those endless hordes of deer aranea and deer hunters and deer worms, I really could use a break. And you could probably use a break from my constant prattling. Give you a chance to actually listen to the pretty good environmental audio. Which, as soon as I say, pretty much immediately ends because we end up going into another one of these base areas, which don't have quite as good background noise. They don't have those wildlife sounds that sound so pleasing to the ears. Not to mention, I'm sure here's where the deer enemies are going to be. I do like that you can tell what enemies you're going to encounter by the overall color scheme and design of a place. That's actually pretty good. What the hell? Thank you, Cannon. And see, that's why I don't want to reduce the damage. I don't want to make it any less effective than it was just there. Okay. This is a lot of hunters. Fortunately, these ones are grouped up, so I can take them out pretty quickly. And I can deal with the stragglers in other sections of the room. Christ, though, this is a lot of hunters. What is this, Yanum? Yeah, thank God for this cannon. I would not be surviving as little as I am if I didn't have it. Jesus, are they just infinitely respawning? Oh shit, I ran out of ammo, I didn't realize. Oh, that's gonna make this difficult. At least I can get some of them to stop firing if I force them to bring up their shields. I guess I just gotta, alternate between them then. Doing as much damage as I can before they put up their shields. Because yeah, previously I've always been trying to focus on one and bust down this shield and then take them out. But they end up going out of their defense mode after a little bit anyway, so that's not really necessary. And in an instance like this, it's better to just let them do it on their own and deal with some of the other ones. Like, see? Gave him a break, and then I can go and kill him, or almost kill him. There we go. And then kill these dudes. See, this is a much better way of taking these dudes on. And, well, the lasers certainly are dangerous. They are a lot easier to avoid than most of the other enemies' attacks. At least, for me. So this is a good place to test if, in fact, these enemies are infinitely spawning. Which, at the moment, they certainly seem to be. There does not seem to be any end to them. But hopefully I can actually manage to reach an end. That would certainly be convenient. But I'm fearing it may be confirmation that, yeah, enemies just constantly spawn over and over. And there really is no break to be had. You just gotta make your way through the environments as quickly as possible to get to progress. Which, I mean, that's certainly not by default a bad design decision per se. But I don't think it works terribly well with the Metroidvania genre. And really, I think any video game does need to have a certain amount of downtime. If you're just constantly fighting enemies in the fray, doing all sorts of dodging and weaving, you're basically just gonna end up with getting a heart attack at some point, you know? And you really do need those moments of peace, those break times, to really appreciate those intense moments all the more. Yeah, they are just infinitely spawning. I think I've confirmed that by now. In that case, I might as well just continue to move on then. I'm not really gaining much by fighting them. If it's just the hunters though, that's actually not so bad. If I start having to deal with other enemies, it's gonna be an issue, but if it's just them, I can actually platform my way through these areas easily enough. For now, let's just see if I can make some amount of progress. Oh, and here they... Can I just... I wish the pause screen didn't have this filter over it so we could more properly appreciate this. They all spawned in the exact same spot. This is ridiculous. Okay. I'm glad I picked up that, those ammunition bits. I now have a fully refueled cannon, which means I can do this! Oh, that is so satisfying. You have no idea how satisfying that is unless you play this game yourself.